Welcome to this edition of Coming Attractions. I'm Donna Keating.
And I'm Susan Jenkins. We're at the brand new Silver Spring Civic Building at Veterans Plaza in downtown Silver Spring, the building for all community activities in the area. We'll give you a tour of the building, the plaza, and the gallery.
This summer at Roundhouse Theater, it's all about their summer education programs and the plays showing at the theater.
And in our video profile segment, MAYNOL, a talented musician from our region, tells about his passion for music and the making of his first album.
Taking a second look at something just gone by you or something you miss. So that's what MAYNOL is a passionate musician. I love the arts, I love the music, I love life, I love the photography. I just love every moment that I can, take a second to express my musical horizons. Or sometimes when I, with my camera, if I could take a shot of something, it's like taking a second look at something just gone by you or something you miss. So that's what I'm about. It's just, it's mostly about music and art. It all started with my father. I remember as a kid, I would watch him. He was sitting down listening to his 12-inch vinyl records, and he would be listening to music from the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and I would see how passionate he was about that. And so he just watching him and listening to the style of music that he would be listening to, it just kind of just went into my soul, And in elementary school there was a lot of programs for kids to join and learn how to play instruments. So I accidentally just picked up the violin and started, fiddling with it for a while. But then it was, when everything changed for me was when I saw this kid playing drums in my elementary school. And it was just, he was the talk of the week because he was so awesome. And so drums came in my life then. I did a lot of symphonic music and classical music with an orchestra, learning how to play certain parts on the drums, different percussion instruments, and then from there on, I remember going to New York for about a month or two, learning how to read and write drums. It was a school called Drummers Collective, and I went there in 94, in August of 94. And then from there I learned a great deal of drums. And then when I came back home to Washington, D.C., I started working for a music store called Washington Music Center, and I learned even more things about drum cymbals and all different types of drums there. And then I got myself slowly into bands here and there, playing a lot of local gigs. And I did that for about 5 years. I got to travel the world with a Latin rock band called Eclipse, and that was quite an experience. Money can't buy that, and I learned a lot there. And but I didn't really go anywhere where I really wanted to. I found myself just joining one band after the other, trying to find the next real big band, and unfortunately it just didn't work that way. I learned really quick that it was very hard to make it in the music business. So I always felt that I had something more to say besides playing drums. I wanted to say something, and that was in here. And I think in 2000, that's when everything changed. I took a hiatus from drums. I picked up a guitar and started fiddling with it, and then I bought myself a guitar chord book, and from there on, everything just started moving forward. And I had all these lyrics that I would always write, from experiences that I would have in life, and so I would take all these poems and I just try to make them fit into the music. But I wasn't trying to go into this album knowing that I would make an album eventually. It just slowly, it just started coming together. So it grew without me expecting or knowing that I was going to make an album. Dark moments in my life about, saying goodbye or losing that relationship, that you once had. So that heartbreak, those dark moments that you go through now, in a separation from someone you've shared your love into, So I felt that part of the album, it could be very dark. Sexy is because there's another song that talks about, having a one-night stand, and so I described that moment. I believe that I will grow as a musician. I will try to broaden my horizon, my musical horizons. I've learned so much making this album. There's definitely a lot of things I'm going to try to experiment, and because every day, you know, I'll hear something new. And working with musicians, different musicians, is always great, you know. So the magic is always going to be there as long as I am open to it, you know. And I'm going to start working on the second album, hopefully beginning of January in 2011. I'll be recording here in Omega Studio. So I'll be working on my second album, which will be a different vibe, different energy, working in a real professional studio. So the energy is going to be different here, you know. So I look forward to it, you know. But I'm definitely a workaholic, you know. I'm always writing music. I'm always trying to perform with other musicians and trying to collaborate. You know, that's one thing. I want to collaborate with my talent with other musicians, with other genre of music. So I would like to work with a rap artist or a reggae artist or maybe an artist from Africa or any other styles of music, you know, because that's just going to expand my musical horizons, you know. I want to see how far I can take it.
Well, that's our show. We thank all our guests for being a part of this edition of Coming Attractions.
And thank you for watching Coming Attractions, Montgomery's Guide to Arts and Entertainment.